Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Joshing Around Milwaukee. As always, my name is Josh Albrecht, and with me is...
I'm Josh Albrecht.
That's right. You're also Josh Albrecht. And with us today is chef and restaurant owner Michael Feker.
Fun. Two Joshes are better than one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Two Joshes having some fun. 'Cause two Joshes are better than one.
Michael, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, guys. Hello, everybody. I hope you enjoy my beautiful voice. Forget about the Joshes.
Hey. We're going to make you a Josh.
Yeah, by the end of this, you'll be like,
Josh.
are there t-shirts I can buy? How can I do this? So, Michael, you're the owner of 3 restaurants, 2 El Mitos and 1 Zesty.
Correct. The El Mito here in Wauwatosa, and then I have a El Mito there in Delafield in the Lake Country, and then Zesty in Heartland, also in the Lake Country.
Yeah, fantastic. Lake Country is beautiful too, by the way.
Yes.
Have you been out there? Do you have a house on the lake yet?
I don't. I'm working on that. You know, it's on the back burner right now. That's a cooking pun.
Takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work, Josh.
I was kind of just waiting for him to get one and then invite me up for the weekend. Yeah. And that's the whole.
Just go
Isn't
to
that the
the
whole
couch
point?
and that's it.
Visit.
And then get me to cook for you guys.
Yes.
That's what it is.
See?
Yeah, we got a plan.
You're making good plans here.
We nailed it right off the bat. I love it.
Oh, which of the 3, right away, which was your first?
And the first one was the El Mito in Wauwatosa. Actually, the first one, Josh, as you probably know, was El Mito on 6th and Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I was in Los Angeles for 17 years, and I had 3 restaurants there. Business brought me here, and that was the time that I was basically crossing this road in my life that I wanted to settle down. And I really knew Los Angeles, to me at least, was not a perfect town to settle down in and raise a family, but Milwaukee was. And when I first came here, the landscape of food wasn't what it is right now. Hospitality wasn't what it is right now. It was right now. Milwaukee is phenomenal. We are a great, large, small city.
Mm.
We have it all except the chaos.
That's,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
We got a lot of t-shirt ideas coming out of this so far.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's gonna go on a t-shirt, I want a piece of it. Okay,
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Whatever you sell.
Yeah, 5%, not a problem. We'll get you a cut. You get a shirt all for yourself.
That's right.
So talk a little bit about, you brought up the different styles and how much that's changed. Can you go a little bit more in depth in that?
Absolutely. When I first started in Milwaukee, it was year 2000. I started my first restaurant at the corner of 6th and Virginia, and that was also called El Mito. It was, even if I wanted extra virgin olive oil, I had to drop ship and especially order it from Chicago. Now, what is accessible to us here and what we have to share with the outside world that is not Milwaukee, and really, we don't talk the talk anymore. We can walk the walk. Our food is amazing. Our hospitality scene is amazing. The hotels are great and amazing. Our basketball team is amazing. Tell me one thing that is not amazing, guys. There are ups and downs in all cities, but Milwaukee, they tell me sometimes, Chef, why did you move here from Los Angeles? I said, have you ever lived in Los Angeles? Yeah, you can go to Disneyland once, but after 2-3 days, you can't live it anymore. I am happy here. Milwaukee offers everything.
Yeah, we don't really have the traffic of LA.
Thank God. Yeah, here we have traffic when it's 5 minutes from Market Interchange to downtown.
And we still complain about it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God!
Oh
Extra
my
5
God!
minutes?
What kind
Are you
of
kidding
this
me?
is traffic?
What are we doing?
With the 3 restaurants you currently have, sort of spaced out a little bit. Do you find yourself gravitating to one or the other that you sort of personally?
The way I look at it, Josh, is like children. Which child needs you the most, and that's where you go. So if I'm needed for a private event of mine, I have a chef's counter that you can sit and I cook for you at one of my restaurants, the one in Wauwatosa. If that's the one I'm going to be doing that day, that's where I am.
Yeah.
Then I go to Lake Country, Delafield, El Mito, if they need me there. So I go everywhere. Yeah. And personally, to be honest with you, this is not work for me. I love to cook. I live to cook, and I cook to live. So, this is nothing for me. I love it.
So when you were younger and you said, I'm going to be a chef, do you have those first memories of
absolutely.
Scrambled eggs in the morning? With
Absolutely.
What was
absolutely. It started somewhat in another way. My father wanted me to be a dentist. So I was at the pre-med school in USC in California. Being a chef never even crossed my mind. Of course, I always loved food since I was a kid, because the way we manifest our love for people is through food. That's something that we all do. We speak one language, all of us, which is food. So I always loved food and cooking, but I never thought I'm going to become a professional chef. Hating dentistry pushed me towards food. I think that was really the reason. Now I'm the reason for you guys to go to the dentist.
I was going to say, that's ironic, right? I love that.
Yeah, but seriously, I mean, and I'm the happiest in the kitchen. So, no matter what happens in the outside world, when I'm in my cocoon, in my beautiful little kitchen cooking, I'm happy. It doesn't matter what happens.
Do you have a favorite meal that currently, and I'm sure it changes by season, or is there something right now that you just like, you're sort of entrenched in, you just can't stop making it over and over again?
I love fall. I love fall ingredients, and right now, being fall, pumpkin, turkey, pork, Wisconsin cranberries, all of these are on my, radar. Yeah. I work with them. And then the seasons dictates to me what I should do next, like you said,
That's what I was thinking,
right. Exactly.
So with, like you mentioned, Wisconsin cranberries, is there other regional ingredients that you are gravitating towards?
90% of, I'm Mediterranean Italian restaurant as well. 90% of my cheeses are Wisconsin cheeses, cranberries everywhere, pumpkin is everywhere right now. During summer, I try to work with local farms and local, restaurateurs and chefs and promote them as well. Remember, not all of us chefs like to talk like I like to talk. Some of us are a little bit more quiet. So I love to be the voice for the voiceless, if that's the way of putting it, So I work with other chefs. Those guys we are all flavor soldiers, Some of us like to talk while we are soldiering. Some of us don't.
We are all flavor soldiers. That's another t-shirt.
Another shirt?
Yeah. I think that's number 3 so far in the podcast.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a big part of it. And I mean, it's storytelling through food as well. And trying to capture those moments for people. And I mean, I've always thought how magical it must be working at a restaurant and being a part of people's special moments. Because like if special birthdays, anniversaries, the thing that people always think of doing is we're going to go out to eat.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to go have a really nice meal somewhere.
Right. We're going to go out to get pampered. Yeah. That's the way I look at it, because if I don't create an experience for you, choices are many. What made you choose me? And that is when I have to, I cannot look at you as a captive audience. Yeah. I got to look at you as someone that I really need to get addicted to the love and passion that I have for food.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are many of them out there. We have many great restaurants in, Milwaukee. Remember, Josh, the way I put it also is there's a difference between a cook and a chef. Mm-hmm. A cook knows the house. A chef, sometime in his life, said, I'm not satisfied with the house anymore. Now I need to learn the whys. Yeah. Why do I do what I do? Why does the chicken react the way it does? Why does protein does this? That's how I create an experience for you. Yeah. So I really love sharing the magic of food with you all the time.
As an eater,
I was just about to say everything you just said did not resonate with me at all. I'm sitting here going, why do I need to eat the food? Why does that taste so good? How can I put more of it in my body? Those are the questions I ask.
Yeah.
I definitely know my role.
It's magic, just like watching TV or using your cell phone. You don't need to understand it, Josh. You don't need to understand.
I don't even try.
Just enjoy that it's there for you.
It's a simple
time, creativity, and energy into making it.
It's the simple bliss of not knowing and just enjoying, right? And all kidding aside, that's a real thing because people are going, they're doing their own things. People know they have their own expertise. They're coming to you because they want to eat, right? They want to experience your expertise. Right. And so they don't have to think about it. They can go and they can just sit down, order food, take that first bite, let out an exhale, and just, oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
And to me, like as an eater, that's what I'm always looking for is, can I take a bite of something just like to where I'm stopping eating it to go,
right.
I'm usually thinking they probably just put a bunch of butter in this.
Yeah, well, but you put enough butter on a bumper of a car is going to taste good. So no, it's not actually. One of the things that I'm really proud of, what I try to do all the time, is making your food healthy and flavorful. Healthy food shouldn't be, flavorless. Yeah. It's totally the opposite. Well, this, Josh, actually, I wanted to answer something for you. The reason that you say why is because it feeds your culinary soul. we all have culinary souls, you know, and when I make a flavor profile for you, that it hits that note, that's when you go, oh my God, how is his lasagna like this? You know, what did he put in there? It's, again, another thing that I wanted to tell you, the difference between a cook and a chef, like I told you, the hows and the whys. My job as a chef is to create layers of flavors when I am cooking something, with the help of reduction, with the help of the right amount of seasoning, with the help of heat. Because cooking is very simple, it's heat transfer. I take heat, I introduce it to a raw ingredient, the water content of that ingredient turns into steam, and it cooks it. So what? I mean, a fish can be cooked, so what? But what can I do that when you put that fish or that lasagna in your mouth, you go, what the hell did he do to this? Why is it so good? You know?
Yeah.
That's my job.
It's almost like being a magician. You know what I mean? And we're the audience, you know, to where I don't know how you did it, but I witnessed it, and I'm just okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
amazing.
Don't try to figure it out. Just enjoy it.
Right, just enjoy it. Just enjoy the
My
show.
dad always used to say, you know, forget about figuring out how the magic was done.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Definitely. So you mentioned, I wanted to ask, in our notes, you mentioned the healthy eating, and you consult with Aurora Healthcare.
I did.
How did that come about, and what was that experience like?
Well, you know, Sinai, that is right here, you know, in downtown. I first went into that hospital because one of the things that I did and spoke to the CEO of that hospital, George Hinton, was, George, why is hospital food that is supposed to help us is not helping us? Like, why do we give him a sodium-laced broth after heart surgery? That's like job security. I'm sorry, but that's the way it looks. So that's George Hinton approached me. I went into Aurora. I did some videos for them that also they put on their inside channel, you know, of their hospitals. This one was phenomenal because the only hospital that outside people can come in and eat is Sinai right here in Aurora.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of the north side and a lot of people for lunch would come in there. And I just made their food a little bit more enjoyable, you know, making the dressings ourselves, making sure that there was a panini grill there so I could do a panini for you, you know, because the nurses would come, the doctors would come and they wanted to eat, and making sure that the freezer size reduced and the refrigerator size increased.
Wow.
So it's not everything frozen coming out of the box, you know. That was one of the things. And the reason that I got mainly involved is because, as I mentioned to you, I love that. I love the challenges that comes with it to try to make healthy food. And those days, Aurora was really involved in that. Yeah,
that's amazing. I love the idea. I love the make the refrigerator bigger, freezer smaller.
Yes.
I need to tell that to my kids with their chicken nugget consumption.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
Get me
You're
started.
right. The freezer, to be honest with you, the freezer, you could land a plane in it. I mean, it was huge, but there was no refrigerator.
Right.
There was the tiny little box, and they call it the refrigerator because basically, you got to remember, in institutional cooking, it's totally different than individual cooking or scratch cooking. So temperature, bacteria, all of those things got to be looked at. And that's the thing. I said, it's possible. You don't have to really just use frozen stuff. But again, you know, that's a choice that some people make.
Yeah, that's interesting. Going back to your restaurants, so how would you, like, obviously you've had a ton of influence. You went to Switzerland. You've classically trained in French, Italian, Southern California influence. Now you got Wisconsin influence. How do you put all that together into your signature style?
Right. The best way to put anything that you have been infused in together, don't make it confusing. Make it really an infusion instead of a confusion. Right. So what I learned.
That's a shirt.
Yeah.
4. That's number 4.
God, I'm going to be so rich by the end of this podcast.
Infusion, not confusion. Boom.
So, and what I mean by that is I learned the techniques of classical French. I fell in love with the simplicity of Italian cooking, and I take some of the techniques of French and I mix it with the beauty and the simplicity of Italian, and then California ingredients, Wisconsin depth of flavors. Whatever the Lord gives me, I'll cook with it. It doesn't really matter. Whatever the seasons give me, I'll cook with it. And that's, I did a show on Food Network, and they asked me, what is an ingredient you love? And what is an ingredient you hate? Well, Sea urchin was the one I hated. I just don't like the texture. I'm sorry.
It's actually,
Yeah.
Potatoes. I love potatoes. Why? Because they're white canvas.
Me too.
I can do anything to a potato and infuse those flavors directly in there. And you take a bite, you go, oh my God. And it's just potato, you know. So I like to keep it simple. That's really what I do. So going back to your question was, I take those influences, simplify them, and present them to you. And I am totally focused on getting you with something that you can relate to. That's why I do a lasagna, you know, on my menu. Anybody can do a lasagna. I do it with short ribs. I slow cook them, I shred them, I chop them, then I layer your lasagna. And I don't put ricotta and mozzarella in there. I do a classic bechamel that I put in there. It takes a little bit more time. So what though? That's when you take him by Josh and you're going to go, man, what did he put in his lasagna? The secret ingredient, love, baby, love.
Yeah, I love it. That's amazing.
And then you, I mean, when you're not running restaurants and inspiring, you're inspiring through travel as well. Like you've done some culinary tours and taking people on adventures to learn. Tell me a little
Totally.
bit. Yeah.
I just came back from my tour in Italy. So one of the blessings that I have is I love, again, the wines. So I get into grapes, wines, the regions, hotels, all of those things is a part of what has created me and has keep me going every day. So it was a phenomenal tour. Another thing that truly I love is not just these culinary trips, is infusing those flavors, creating young flavor soldiers through my love for food. And that is a big thing that's happening right now. You know, everybody wants to be involved in food. So I love to get involved with those young chefs to be, and letting them know how not to make mistakes, how to make mistakes, pay your dues while you're working for someone else. Don't jump in there and simply say, I want to have a taco truck, because a taco truck is exactly the same as a restaurant, except it has 4 wheels on it. Okay, and it doesn't have electricity connected, but you still have the generator. You know, all of those commitments are the same. That's really what feeds me every day. Infusing other people's soul with the love of food. That does, the culinary trips, oh my God. I wish you were there, Josh. Every day everybody was going. Every day I had wine tasting, and then we had food tasting, we had cheese making, you know, all of those things.
Have you ever done any tours or showcases of the Milwaukee area? Have you taken people to a few different spots and shops and done, I know you've done some classes.
Yeah. Unfortunately not, because Visit Milwaukee hasn't asked me to yet.
Wow.
I know someone you can talk to. Yeah. I could get you in touch with someone.
Josh is the man.
I think that'd be fantastic. I mean, if you were going to try to put together a little something to showcase Milwaukee, do you have a few things in mind?
Oh my God,
yell it out?
Oh my God, yes. First of all, our South Side. Okay, I want to take some people not just to what is really visible to them all the time, so some of these little hole in the walls that Mexican food exists and really lives in, but we don't go to because we don't know about it, like El Cabrito and Guadalajara and all of these tiny little restaurants. Like Guadalajara, she's been cooking for 45 years in that little place. And if you go, Josh, you'll be mind-boggled. Like, how does she do it in this little kitchen? You know, or El Cabrito, all he does is food. He serves no margaritas, but that's a good stop for a couple of tacos, and then we go and have margaritas. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I would love to go in now the new part of Milwaukee, which is our East Side and Third Ward and everything, and just go and sit with people, eat, and explain to them why the chef did what he's doing. You know. The whys again, because that's really what people love to know.
And exactly, and there's so much that's not known too. You know, and it's just it's such a way to advance people's ideas of what they can eat and what they and just figuring out, because if you don't know, you'll never know. You know, I can eat a great meal, but if no one explains to me exactly how it was made
and why
it's going to stay just a great meal, which isn't a bad thing. But it's definitely not at that next level that it could be.
Totally. And that's, again, with food, that's like one of the, I was telling you about my counter, chef's counter. One of the reasons people love it is because the whys are shared with them. You know,
of course.
Why I do this, why I do that. That's like going to a artist, gallery It's a gallery night. You see the art on the wall, or you go to his studio and you figure out what is in his mind. Why does he do what he does? You know, then the art has 100 times more value to you.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
personal too.
Yeah, totally. It becomes personal.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Speaking of next level, so we'd like to say Milwaukee's having a moment right now. There's lots of great energy. We say it's got fresh city vibes because of all the cool things happening. We'd love to always ask our guests, what's giving you fresh city vibes right now? What's the thing that you are super excited about? You can say your own restaurants.
No,
But
totally.
is there something else
Oh my
that
God,
you're
yes.
gravitating toward and you just can't get enough of?
Yeah. Being blessed enough, first of all, to be one of the pioneers to be here when this fresh city vibe wasn't available to us. Now, I don't see it as a fresh city vibe that's going to die. I think it's going to keep growing, and every day we're going to have a new vibe because we have so much talent in this city. And I'm not just talking about chefs, from painters to our sports to everything else, but most importantly, to the fans. Whether you're a fan of sports, you're a fan of food, you're a fan of theater, all those fans are really what's going to be driving us. And the beauty of us in Milwaukee is the energy of the fans never dies. They are loyal. They
Very
are loyal,
passionate,
man.
very passionate.
Yeah, they're passionate. And when you feed them right, and that again is not just food, feeding them anything. When you feed them right and treat them right, they'll die for you.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Milwaukee, you know,
Yeah.
because this is my home. This is my little place.
I always love to, restaurant tours, especially when you own multiple restaurants. But even if let's just say you have had only one,
Yeah.
either way they become little incubators of family as well. Like you have so many servers and dishwashers and line cooks and all these people who make up the little restaurant ecosystem.
Right.
I think that's what I always have in mind, this like magical experience of this family working for the same goal every night, coming together. Tell me a little bit about what that's been like for you, of building their own little family of workers and friends who, they're not just workers, right? They're friends. They're your family.
Yeah, the family, exactly. So I'll back up quickly. And chef is a French word, means a chief. And those guys in that kitchen are my tribe, you know, and I am a part of them. And that's the reason. I have people with me 17 years, 21 years, 24 years, you know. It's very rare in our industry that you have somebody staying with you for that long. But I also have incoming. Some of them stay, some of them don't. But it is my job to make them feel at home. It is I'll give you an example. Tomorrow night is a Saturday night, right? My chef, my pasta chef, texted me this morning and said, Chef, I want to do something with my daughter. Can I have tomorrow off? Saturday night? What are you talking about? I said, Omar, if you get things ready tonight, I'll work for you tomorrow. His eyes just popped like, oh my God, really? Yeah. I'm going to absolutely work for you. And I did the same thing last Sunday. I did the same thing, 2 Tuesdays ago. I love those kind of things. But again, that was going back to your question. I need to make him feel like a family member. Yeah. If I just make him feel like a worker, it's like you going to a bank and just being a number. But when you walk in and somebody says, hello, Josh, how are you? Right. Really?
And then I take all Josh Albrechts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then
exactly.
Yeah. And they go,
wait a minute, that's not your account, man.
Yeah, you have a negative account balance.
Yeah, it's my job to make him feel like family. And that's the way everything goes in life. It doesn't matter whether you're a restaurateur or you're a lawyer. Your family is the people you work with.
Yeah. And if you do that, you'll get repeat customers as well.
That's right.
And that loyalty builds. And next thing you know, you've been doing it since the year 2000.
Yeah. And another thing that you need to remember is when you go to a restaurant and the food does not hit that culinary soul that you have, there's stress involved in that kitchen. You taste the stress. We only think we just taste perfect cooking. No. When the chef is stressful, when he's always screaming, and I learned these things. It's not that I'm perfect. No, I learned these things. And I work with some chefs that right now, I'm thinking about it at the age that I am, is like, man, why? Like, why would you do the things that you used to? But that's my dad. He used to tell me, son, don't just learn from the knows, also learns from the unknowns and the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah.
So basically take the negative and learn from it. And if you can deal with it, then get out of the kitchen. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Michael. This has been awesome. I'm definitely hungry. by the way.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
We always are.
yeah, that's a good point.
Well, you got a private chef sitting right here.
Yeah, okay.
That's it, done,
Boom.
done.
I love that.
Done.
Thank you so much for joining us. And, obviously we wish you success with all 3 restaurants going forward, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
The success is going to be there because I have Milwaukee behind me. Love you, Milwaukee. Thank you for having me, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of your life.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Josh. Good seeing you.